My name is Damien, and I need to tell you about the day my identical twin brother Derek destroyed my future. Or at least, that's what he thought he did. Damien, you ready for this? My roommate Marcus asked as we walked into the testing center. This medical school entrance exam is everything. Born ready, I said, feeling confident. I'd studied for 8 months straight. 4 years of pre-med comes down to this one test. Man, I saw you studying until 2 a.m. last night, Marcus said, shaking his head. If anyone deserves to ace this, it's you. Thanks, Marcus, I said. I just want to make my family proud, you know? Your parents are already proud, Marcus said. But hey, I get it. This is your dream. Derek was already in the testing room when I arrived. We looked exactly alike. Same dark hair, same height, same face. But that's where the similarities ended. Hey, brother, Derek said, flashing that smile he always used when he wanted something. Good luck today. You too, I replied, taking my assigned seat 3 rows behind him. You feeling prepared? As prepared as I'll ever be, Derek said with a shrug. We'll see what happens. I noticed he looked too relaxed, too confident for someone who'd barely cracked a textbook in months. The exam was brutal, but fair. 6 hours of questions that would determine our entire medical careers. I worked through each section methodically, double-checking my answers. I finished feeling solid, really solid. How'd it go? Marcus asked when I emerged. Good, I said, really good. I think I nailed it. That's what I'm talking about, Marcus said, clapping me on the back. Dr. Damien Carter has a nice ring to it. 3 weeks later, my phone rang. Mr. Damien Carter, the voice said. Speaking. This is Dean Richardson from the medical school admissions office. I'm calling about your entrance exam results. My heart raced. Yes? I'm afraid your scores were significantly below our threshold. You scored in the 34th percentile. We cannot offer you admission. The room spun. That's impossible. I knew that material inside and out. Can you tell me which sections I did poorly on? All sections, I'm afraid, Dean Richardson said. The scoring was consistent across the board. Could there have been a mistake? Could you review the test? I asked desperately. Mr. Carter, we've checked multiple times. The results are final. I'm truly sorry. I hung up, stunned. My hands trembled as I stared at my phone. Then it buzzed with a text from Derek. Just got my acceptance letter, 96th percentile. Guess I'm going to be Dr. Carter after all. Something felt wrong, very wrong. I called my best friend and study partner, Rachel. Rach, I need to talk, now. What happened? She asked when we met at the coffee shop an hour later. You sound upset. I failed the medical school entrance exam, I said, 34th percentile. Rachel's jaw dropped. That's impossible. I studied with you every single day. You knew everything. You were explaining concepts to me that I didn't understand. I know, I said, running my hands through my hair. But Derek scored 96th percentile and got accepted. Rachel leaned forward, her eyes narrowing. Damien, Derek barely studied. He was out partying most nights. I saw him at clubs when I was working my bartending shift. He'd roll in at 2 a.m., drunk. Exactly, I said, the pieces clicking together. He couldn't have scored that high legitimately. Not with the amount of effort he put in. What are you thinking? Rachel asked carefully. I'm thinking my twin brother sabotaged me, I said, and I'm going to prove it. How? She asked. I don't know yet, I admitted, but I'll figure it out. The next day I called my mom. Sweetheart, I heard about the exam, Mom said, her voice heavy with concern. I'm so confused. You're the smart one. You've always been the dedicated one. Mom, I think Derek did something, I said. Can you meet me for lunch? Of course, she said immediately. Where? At the restaurant, I laid out my theory. Derek and I are identical, same face, same build. What if he swapped our test papers somehow? Mom's face went pale. Damien, that's a serious accusation. Are you absolutely sure? I know how it sounds, I said, but think about it. He barely studied. He was failing his practice tests. You saw him. He was out drinking with friends the night before the exam. Suddenly he's 96th percentile? Mom sat back, processing. I did think it was odd. He never seemed worried about the exam. He kept saying it would all work out. What do you need from me? Mom asked quietly. Support, I said. And maybe Dad's lawyer friend, Robert Chen. Can you call him? Mom reached across the table and squeezed my hand. I'll call Robert today. If Derek did this, we'll prove it. 2 days later, I sat in Robert Chen's law office. He was a sharp-dressed man in his 50s with kind eyes and a reputation for winning impossible cases. Your mother explained the situation, Robert said, pulling out a legal pad. But I want to hear it from you. Tell me everything and don't leave out any details. I explained the situation, the impossible score reversal, Derek's lack of preparation, his confidence, the identical twin factor, everything. This is interesting, Robert said, making notes. Very interesting. Do you know how the testing center handles security? I know they check IDs before you enter, I said. But once you're in the room, everyone looks down at their tests. The proctors walk around, but they're not watching every second. Here's what we're going to do, Robert said, putting down his pen. I'm going to hire a private investigator named Sarah Mitchell. She's the best in the business. She's going to pull security footage from the testing center and interview proctors. Can she do that legally, I asked. With a subpoena, yes, Robert said. But first, I'm going to request your exam materials through legal channels, the actual test booklet and answer sheet you filled out. There are procedures for this. How long will this take, I asked. Could be a few weeks, Robert admitted. But Damien, if your brother did this, we'll catch him. Academic fraud leaves a trail. 3 weeks passed. Rachel kept me sane while I waited, meeting me for coffee every few days. Any news, she asked, during one of our study sessions at the library? Sarah found something, I said, barely able to contain my excitement. The security footage shows Derek hanging back after the exam ended. He was near the collection table where we turned in our tests. Holy shit, Rachel breathed. He actually did it? Looks like it, I said. But we need more proof. My phone rang. Robert. Damien, get to my office now, he said, his voice urgent. We've got him. I practically ran to my car. Rachel, come with me. At Robert's office, Sarah Mitchell spread documents across the conference table. She was a tall woman in her 40s with sharp eyes that missed nothing. Look at this, Sarah said, pointing to a security camera timestamp. This is Derek, 5 minutes after the exam ended. Everyone else had left. He's standing near the proctor's desk. Could he have swapped the papers then? I asked, leaning closer. Watch this, Sarah said, playing the video. Derek's hand moved quickly, grabbing 2 test booklets from the collection stack, doing something with them, and setting them back down. See that? That's your brother committing academic fraud on camera. Robert pulled out 2 documents. These are the actual answer sheets from your exam. Notice the handwriting analysis we had done by a certified forensic expert. He pointed to my supposed answer sheet. This handwriting has subtle differences from your verified handwriting samples. Samples from your college papers, your admission applications, but it matches Derek's handwriting perfectly. He took my test, I whispered, the reality sinking in. He literally stole my answers and put his name on them. And put his answers under your name, Robert confirmed. You took the fall for his terrible performance while he got credit for your excellent work. Rachel grabbed my arm. Damien, this is huge. You've got him. So what's our next move? I asked Robert. Robert smiled. We're going to set a trap. Derek thinks he got away with it. He's enrolled in medical school right now. We're going to call him pretending to be investigating an inheritance matter. Your grandmother's estate, Sarah explained. We'll say there's a dispute about which twin is entitled to a specific bequest, and we need to verify academic credentials. He'll incriminate himself trying to prove he's the successful one, Rachel said. 2 days later, we made the call. I was in Robert's office with Sarah and Rachel, listening on speakerphone. Is this Derek Carter? Robert asked in his most official voice. Yes, who's this? Derek replied. This is Robert Chen with Chen & Associates legal firm. I'm handling your late grandmother's estate distribution. There's a clause in her will specifically for the grandson who achieves medical school admission. Well, that would be me, Derek said smugly. I got into medical school with a 96th percentile score. Can you confirm you earned this score through your own efforts without any form of cheating or academic dishonesty? Robert asked. Of course I did, Derek said. I studied really hard, way harder than my brother Damien. Your brother scored quite poorly, I understand, Robert said. Derek laughed. Yeah, 34th percentile, pretty embarrassing. I always knew I was the smarter twin. I wanted to punch through the wall. Would you be willing to come to my office to sign some documents? Robert asked. Sure, when? Derek said eagerly. Tomorrow at 2 p.m., Robert said. Bring your medical school acceptance letter and your official test scores. No problem, Derek said confidently. The next day, Derek arrived at Robert's office precisely at 2 p.m. I was in the adjacent conference room with Detective James Morrison from the Academic Fraud Division. Mr. Carter, thank you for coming, Robert said. Before we discuss the inheritance, I need to clarify something. You stated you earned your score through your own efforts, correct? Absolutely, Derek said, pulling out his acceptance letter. See, 96 percentile, all me. Robert slid a document across the desk. This is a sworn statement. Are you willing to sign it, confirming under penalty of perjury that you did not engage in any form of academic dishonesty? Sure, Derek said. signing without reading. Robert pressed a button. I walked in with Detective Morrison and Sarah. Derek's face went white. Damien, what is this? This is the end of your con, I said. Detective Morrison stepped forward. Mr. Derek Carter, I'm Detective Morrison. We have security footage showing you manipulating test materials after the exam. We also have handwriting analysis proving you submitted your answers under Damien Carter's name and took his answers as your own. That's insane, Derek stammered. You can't prove that. Robert pulled out the evidence. Security footage timestamped at 4:47 p.m. Handwriting analysis from a forensic expert, witness statements from proctors, and your sworn statement from 2 minutes ago, Sarah added. We also have testimony from students who sat near you. They confirmed you spent most of the test looking stressed and erasing answers. Damien, come on, we're brothers, Derek said desperately. Brothers don't sabotage each other's futures, I said coldly. Mr. Carter, Detective Morrison said, pulling out handcuffs, you're under arrest for academic fraud, identity theft, and forgery. You have the right to remain silent. Derek started crying. Please, Damien, please don't do this. I'll do anything. It's too late for that, Robert said. You committed multiple felonies. The next 3 months were brutal but satisfying. Derek tried everything, begging Mom to make me drop the charges, crying to relatives, claiming it was all a misunderstanding. I sat in the courtroom when the judge handed down the verdict. Mr. Derek Carter, Judge Williams said, you have been found guilty of academic fraud, identity theft, and forgery. These are serious crimes that undermine the integrity of our educational institutions. I sentence you to 18 months in prison, 5 years probation, and you are permanently banned from medical school admission. Additionally, you will pay restitution to your brother Damien Carter in the amount of $75,000. Derek's face crumbled. His lawyer tried to speak, but the judge was done. After the sentencing, Derek's lawyer approached me in the hallway. Mr. Carter, my client would like to apologize and see if you'd consider... No, I cut him off. Tell Derek I'm not interested in his apologies, his explanations, or his excuses. He made his choice when he stole my future. Now he can live with the consequences. Robert walked up. The medical school has been notified. They've rescinded Derek's admission and reviewed your case. You're in, Damien. Full scholarship. I met with Mom a week later at her house. I'm proud of you, she said, though her eyes were sad. You did the right thing, even though it was hard. He didn't give me a choice, Mom, I said. He stole everything I worked for. I know, she said. I just wish things had been different. Me too, I said. Rachel took me out for celebration drinks the night before I started medical school. To Dr. Damien Carter, she said, raising her glass. The man who fought back and won. To justice, I said. Do you ever regret it? Rachel asked. Turning him in? Not for a second, I said. He didn't just steal my test score. He tried to steal my entire future. He was willing to watch me fail while he succeeded on my hard work. That's not brotherhood. That's betrayal. Starting medical school felt surreal. Every time I walked through those doors, I remembered how close I came to losing it all. But I also remembered the lesson Derek taught me. When someone wrongs you, you don't get revenge through emotions or violence. You get justice through evidence, patience, and the legal system. Derek served his time. I heard through family that he works at a warehouse now, still bitter, still blaming me for his choices. He sent one letter asking if we could start over. I never replied. Mom asked me about it during a phone call. Honey, he says he's changed. Maybe he has, I said, but that doesn't mean I owe him forgiveness. He didn't just make a mistake. He planned it, executed it, and was ready to let me suffer for years. That's not something I can forget. I understand, Mom said softly. Justice isn't revenge, it's accountability. I didn't destroy Derek's life. He destroyed it himself when he thought he could cheat his way to success. I just made sure he faced the consequences. Some people might say, I should have forgiven him. That family is supposed to stick together. But true family doesn't betray you. True family doesn't steal your future and smile while doing it. Now I'm in my 3rd year of medical school, top of my class, earning every grade through my own hard work. The way it should have been from the start. I'm specializing in emergency medicine, and I love every minute of it. Every patient I help, every life I save is proof that justice prevailed. Sometimes I wonder what Derek's life would have been like if he'd just studied, just done the work. He could have been a doctor too, maybe not at the top program, but somewhere. Instead, he chose the easy way, the dishonest way, and it cost him everything. Have you ever had a family member betray you when you trusted them most? What would you have done if someone stole your future and tried to make you watch them succeed with your achievements? Like and subscribe for more stories about people who refused to be victims and fought back the right way.